How you guys doing? Welcome back to Conversations Over Chess. The individual that's stopping by the show is a jack of all trades. He's a man of many talents. I have my little Shannon Sharp notes here on the side. He's a DJ. He's a man of faith. He has a clothing line, and he is going to touch on a lot of different topics here on the show today. Please, without further ado, please welcome DJ DMC. How you doing, sir?
All is well.
Doing all right?
I can't complain.
I was going to say, I want to start the episode with a story.
Okay.
So off camera, we have spoken a little bit about how you played at Villanova.
I did.
And what you don't know is, obviously, we know each other from the connection through Brian Lomax.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Sade and Brian.
For sure.
Y'all two getting married soon.
Congratulations again.
Facts. Big congratulations to y'all. Black love to see it.
Man.
But when I was doing my research on you, I messaged AJ, one of my best friends. Again, another person that we know via Brian. I went to college with AJ. You know Lomax via another person, right? We know each other we know each other. But you went to college and played football with an individual I went to high school with, Aaron Forbes.
Oh, Forbes. That's my guy.
Forbes, bro. When I was like, hold on, how old is my boy? Hold on. DMC is how old?
That's
Forbes is how old? So Aaron Forbes, G, great guy.
Great guy.
That's another connection, and I was just like, this is so crazy. This is how small the world is. How from Newburgh, New York, my little small hometown, to now circling full circle to knowing the same individual that's just like, yo, you went to college with him, this, that, and the third. So I wanted to start off the podcast by above everything else saying that this is what it's about.
Yeah. That's
knowing
dope.
people, not burning bridges, and just networking. Because as soon as I found out a little bit about your story, I was like, yeah, I want you on the pod, bro. And then once I dug in a little bit more, that's when it was like, okay, it's crazy, the connection.
Because Forbes is a great man.
Yeah.
Somebody that I definitely looked up to when I first got to Villanova. You know what I'm saying? He taught me a lot. And he really took me up under his wing when I was there. So,
okay.
Yeah, shout out to Forbes, man.
Shout out to him for sure.
Now it's time to pay these bills.
This episode is brought to you by Legendary Apparel by Kimaj the Creator. Don't let the fly name or my fly fit fool you. Legendary Apparel is a one-stop shop for all streetwear and essentials. Outside of the items that I'm wearing, he also offers bags, sweatsuits, shoes, canvases. You name it, he has it. Also, you're in for a treat. If you use the promo code COCP, which stands for Conversations Over Chess Podcast, you'll get free shipping. I repeat, free shipping. Also, be sure to visit his website. Link in the description or up on the screen. Be sure to give him a follow at _creator, KREATOR. Forget staying thirsty, my friends. Stay legendary. Legendary Apparel, the presenting sponsor of Conversations Over Chess. Peace.
Now back to the podcast.
Speak to your time at Villanova. Let's start there first in your story. We're starting in the middle, a little bit towards the middle, right?
Yeah.
But speak to your time there. Obviously, you played college football there. Coming out of high school, were you highly recruited at all, or?
Yeah, I had a few. I had not all the Ivy League, but the what you call them?
PWIs? No, I'm just playing.
I had a lot of recruitment. You know, I had Air Force, Navy, Army, all of the.
Oh, you had a military school.
Yeah, the military schools. I had all three of those. I had a lot of.
I graduated from military high school.
Excuse me?
I graduated from the New York Military Academy. That's crazy.
I went to St. John's College High School, which is a military, like ROTC type school. Yeah.
All right. You had to wear uniforms? Sorry to interrupt.
We did have to wear uniforms.
Same here, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Same here.
So,
had those Class A's and those pearly whites and everything.
For sure. But genuinely, like it was a great time there at Villanova. I only played 2 years.
Okay.
I went there for 3.5 years. I stopped playing because of injury and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But genuinely, I love my alma mater. Made great connections. Still talk to a lot of people. Met one of my cousins.
Okay.
That I didn't know was my cousin.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean? When we first got there as freshmen, but you know, it was a great time there. Met Aaron Forbes.
Yeah.
A lot of great people that, you know, went on to the NFL, and I still talk to some of my coaches and stuff like that. They still support me. So it was a great community. And I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better.
At the Power 5, the resources that you received there are second to none. I graduated from an HBCU, and it's not to say that we don't have resources, but it's just levels to these resources.
Yeah, I get that. For sure.
How much was college worth it for you?
Was college worth it?
What was your major?
I was a communication major. I was
so this is perfect.
Sociology minor. So, dealing with people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it was worth it as far as the connections. Of course, you can learn all this stuff off of YouTube University and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it was worth it based off the connections I made. That I learned a lot. Yes. I learned a lot as far as it pertains to me as a person.
Okay.
I had a lot of experiences where, I could have been kicked out of college or just thrown underneath the bus and stuff like that. But, thankful to God that I made it through.
Definitely.
And I graduated early. So.
Okay. I was going to say, based off of what we've heard so far, it seems like you've always been a bright individual, because it's not just the common focus going to West Point, going to the Air Force Academy, getting recruited by these schools. A lot of people just think, oh, they're just white guys, Army brats. They just want to go kill and shoot them up. You have to be really, really smart and educated to get into these schools.
Yeah, you do.
Was NFL always part of the plan? Was education just, hey, I already know I'm just book smart? Like, what was it for college for you? Was it, I'm only going because my mom and dad told me to? Like, what got you on the path to going to school?
To go into school, it was, for me, I want my parents to be proud of me. But I also wanted to do something for myself. So that's why I chose Villanova.
Okay.
Villanova, out of all of the schools, actually wanted me to be there. And I built a connection with Mark Ferrante, the head coach, who was the assistant head coach at the time. You know what I'm saying? They brought me in and really welcomed me in, getting to know some of the players and stuff like that who I played with. Robert Rowe, Quaddy, Terrell Vassell, Aaron Forbes. These people like really played a part in my collegiate career. And I think that making the decision to go to a place where I was actually wanted made me a better man, honestly. Because after I committed, I had a coach message me, you know what I'm saying, that was recruiting me, and it was like, Villanova? Really?
That's how all coaches are.
You know what I mean? But like, it was crazy because only one coach said that.
Yeah.
And it was from a military school.
Okay.
It was like, Villanova, really? And I was just like, I'm glad I didn't choose you guys, because you're not looking for my best interest.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's always what's going to benefit them.
Exactly.
They're making the millions of dollars, and probably at the time there was no NIL. So I'm sure
that's how coaches are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They want to fill that quota. You know what I'm saying? You build that relationship with them and they leave.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that he's still there. I'm not saying that he left or anything like that. But I've seen that happen.
No, for sure. It's crazy. The world of sports is cutthroat. So I played college football out in Kansas. I went to junior college, played 2 years out there. I was running back and middle linebacker in high school, but only running back in college. So the world of sports is just different. And one thing you realize, especially because you played big D1, is that you have to eat, sleep, and breathe football. Definitely. Point blank, period. And you learn really quickly, like, nah, that boy like that. Yeah. That boy like that. He's 6'10" when he was 12 years old, and he been bench pressing cars. I'm telling you learn quick, fast.
And I think that I was one of those people that, because I took it very seriously coming through high school. This is my goal. This is what I want to do. Once I got to college, you know what I'm saying, it kind of not necessarily fell off, but it was a different atmosphere. It was something being away from home. Yeah. Well, I was one of those people that like, oh, he bench pressing this much. He bench pressing with the lineman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
a running back be squatting the same thing as
yeah. So like I really put in the work, but like seeing people do the extra time and put in the time in, like Christian Benford was one of those people. He was one of my roommates. He plays for the Buffalo Bills now. Okay. And one of those dudes that like, if he's about his business, he's about his business. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Drinking and smoking and stuff like that, the college stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't about that. He was about that, I got a purpose, and he's living it. You know what I'm saying? So salute to Christian Benford for sure.
Fact. Shout out to you, man. Yeah. Go Bills too, because I'm from New York. So any team New York, I love to cheer for. I'm hoping that the Buffalo Bills, you know what I mean, go all the way. Yeah. Any other sports that you played at all?
I ran track in high school. Okay. You know what I mean?
What events?
I ran the 200, 400, 4x2, stuff like that. But even then, like people that really put in the work, Eric Harrison, he's an Olympian. was Trinidad and Tobago. Like it's amazing, like how many people you run across or come across rather.
Yeah.
That impact your life in different ways, and he was one of those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say I did the only 100 and 200. I wasn't with all that long distance stuff.
Yeah.
I ain't long distance stuff. It ain't me.
I don't blame you.
It ain't me. I was gonna say on your IG, you got a couple photos of you boxing. You box at all?
I don't box, but
Okay.
Aaron Lindsay, he's a trainer here in the DMV that really, he became a brother to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like we train every now and again, and he really taught me a lot about fitness and stuff like that when I was a trainer.
Okay.
You know?
I was gonna say, so we're obviously sitting in front of a ton of things, right? Most people are only used to seeing the chessboard. We have a couple of DJ things. We have a couple of merch. Let's start with the DJing.
Okay.
How did you get into DJing? How long have you been doing it for? Speak to that a little bit.
Okay. So I did. I went to a party celebrating one of my friends' mother beating breast cancer, which is a beautiful thing. And DJ Taz was there. She set up, and jokingly, I was like, "You gonna teach me how to DJ?" She was like, "Yeah, come on." So I sat over there and watched the DJ for a little bit. And I was like, "Okay, I'm picking it up a little bit. I'm see what you're doing."
Yeah.
And halfway through her set, she looked at me. She was like, "You ready to hop on?"
Threw you to the wolves.
No, I was just joking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at that time, it was kind of like I think I could do this. Let me go test it out. And the next day, literally, I went to Guitar Center and I bought this $80 board or whatever, the Newmark Party Mix 2 or something like that.
All right.
And started to try to mix. You can use Tidal and stuff like that. So I bought Tidal, and after that, my older brother's a DJ also.
All right.
So I bought this, fidgeted with it for about 2 weeks or so, and then went to his house and got some more instruction. So he taught me a lot, taught me a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? How to beat match and mix and, you know what I'm saying, fade different songs to other songs.
The only thing I know about DJing is that a friend of mine, shout out to my boy Josh. I used to live in Utah. He's a DJ out there. He's an alpha man. Mm-hmm. Only thing he taught me was just you gotta match up the tempo.
Yeah.
So I'll try to go from Pound Town to freaking meet me halfway. It's like, bro, you can't. You gotta match up the beat, bro.
And then after getting some instruction from him, I learned a lot from DJ Taz. And she actually, we would be on U Street. I would go visit her on U Street while she was DJing. And she would throw me in the mix. Like, can you mix this for me? Can you
what spot on U Street does she?
It was
because I'll be at St. X killing them over there, boy.
I forget the name of it. Neither one of us is there. I forget the name, but she'd be over there, or any gig that she would invite me to, I would try to learn as much as possible, you know what I'm saying? But being in that atmosphere of live music and actually messing up sometimes, it taught me a lot, you know what I mean? So going from the Party Mix 2, from like a starter DJ board to the SX3, you know what I mean? It taught me how to be resilient in it. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of messing up, a lot of bad mixes, a lot of not reading the crowd taught me a whole lot. And then going to my brother's gigs or DJ Taz, or one DJ that really taught me a whole lot was DJ Setfire. He brought me into Glow Lounge off of around 9th Street, U Street, somewhere around like that. And you know what I'm saying? He taught me a lot, like open up, do 2-3 hours, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? And he really threw me in the mix, and that taught me how to just go in there by myself and play. You know what I mean? And after I got comfortable, I bought a whole lot of equipment. This stuff is not.
I was gonna say, speak to that, because
now it's time to pay these bills.
Think global, act local. The World Is Yours offers the coolest men's fashion and accessories at 104 William Street in Newburgh, New York, my hometown. It's also available at theworldisyours.com. That is WRLDIZYORZ.com. Be sure to use the discount code COCP, which stands for Conversations Over Chess Podcast, to get 10% off. I repeat, 10% off all of your purchases. Again, World is Yours, WRLDIZYORZ.com. 10% discount code on the screen. Get you some.
Now back to the podcast.
Even for myself, I wanted to start a podcast. Okay, I'm recording off of 3 phones that I've already owned, but in order to get better, you have to invest in yourself and pay the cost. Didn't ting?
Exactly. We're going to get there.
So with these cameras that we're running right now, each one of these cameras is $1,000. Even an iPhone is $1,000, right? At this point in time. So I got 3 phones, that's $3,000. I got 3 Sony ZV-10s, that's another $3,000. So we can all do the math. It's not cheap.
It's not.
Talk about the investment, how much it costs to get into this, and then what was the payoff on the back end, because you be getting books, right? I see you do an event, right? I'm like, yo, my boy's doing this thing. So talk about the upfront costs and then the dividends from it.
Like I said, I had a Apple MacBook in college.
Okay.
So my parents paid for that, of course. Not of course. I was just fortunate to have that.
Definitely.
This was $80. Title was like between $10 and $15 a month, something like that. That's
monthly subscription.
I upgraded. I went to Guitar Center and bought a DDJ SR for like $400.
Okay.
So I started doing my first couple gigs, and I was like, I can upgrade. Got the SX3 that came with the Odyssey case and like 2 20-foot cords. That alone probably cost the board alone probably cost you close to $1,000.
Yeah.
The case probably another $3. The cords probably another $50. And then after I got bored with that, I went and bought the big boy.
Okay.
It's the DDJ Rev 7 by Pioneer, brand new, which is what I got it for. It's just like $2,000.
Sheesh.
You know what I mean? I got that. I still have the subscription to Serato. That's what I use. Software. You got to think about speakers. You got to think about wires.
Yeah.
Speaker stands, subwoofers, and tables, tablecloths. Like it's insane.
It's
but
stuff that us as the people that are consuming it, we don't even think about. We just
Exactly.
you just show up and you play some tunes.
Show up. I hope the DJ's good. You know what I'm saying? But the return on it, tenfold. Tenfold. Because, you know, at this point now, I think my first year I was charging $100 an hour. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm going up now.
Yeah.
Because I'm offering more things and stuff like that. And but like genuinely, like you get to know your worth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I put in a lot of work and to get where I am today, as far as like my skill and DJing. So whenever I do get compliments and stuff like that, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've only been doing it probably a year and a half, give or take. It'll be 2
crazy.
years coming up in October.
To be a year and a half to have to put up that upfront cost and then see the return on investment is actually, I applaud you, because a lot of people will give up, right? A lot of people will stumble. A lot of people just like fall flat on their face and be like, I'm all right off of this. So to see you persevere is obviously, I applaud you and shout out to you for that, because it's not easy. What's the furthest gig you had to travel for, and what was the funnest gig you ever had to do?
Lord. I think the furthest gig I've done, no, it's been Villanova.
Yeah?
It's been Villanova. I contacted my coaches. It was like, can I come up for a spring practice? We would love, you know what I'm saying? They reached back out to me and they was like, we would love to have you, yada, yada, yada. And I did one of Villanova spring practices last year.
Okay.
So I DJ'd the whole thing. And
that's usually probably packed out then.
It wasn't packed out. It was just a spring practice.
Okay,
it was kind of like
it wasn't the spring game itself.
It was not.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Spring practice, but it was dope because I remember being back in college where TJ would hit us and be like, all right, you're going to be the DJ for this practice.
Yeah.
Send me a whole playlist. I need 20 to 30 songs, give or take. So actually being that guy that plays those 20, 30 songs and actually mixes it well, and you get a feel for like how people are interacting with your music and stuff like that in the floor of practice, like it's unreal, because You know what I'm saying? I was on that field.
Yeah.
3-4 years ago.
No, for sure. Talk about the art of music, because we were just saying how Josh only taught me, you got to match up the flow and the beat and things like that. So talk about the art of it, because with me, I'm quickly learning that it's a lot more that goes into it than just picking a song and pressing play. So are we saying, and another thing Josh told me is that you just can't come with a preset list. Like, I mixed this back at the crib and that's what it is. No. It does not work at that. So talk about the artistry in DJing.
It is unpredictable. If you asked me 3-4 years ago, or if you told me 3-4 years ago that I'd be doing this today, I'd look at you like you were stupid. Genuinely. Because it's a lot of pressure. Like, I'm still new in it, but like it's a lot of pressure. There's been times where I messed up and maybe my speakers fell, or I've had whole sets, like all my equipment fall, and I had to go buy something new because I have another gig the next day. But genuinely, like it's a lot of pressure, but like you said, it's an art. Like, you have to, they call it Serato face.
Okay.
Right? You on your laptop looking for the next song, but you never look up at the crowd.
Okay.
The crowd means everything. If you are playing music and, you know what I'm saying, you're just playing through a set list and you never look up at the crowd can be sitting down.
Yeah.
But as long as somebody's dancing, as long as you know what I'm saying, the party is jumping and everybody's having a good time, you're doing a good job. But you have to be able to read that. You gotta. That's why I always start my sets with, depending on where I'm at, with like a R&B vibe.
Okay.
Fill it out, and then I'll pick it up towards the end. But like tomorrow I have Throw Social from 10 to 2.
Yeah.
So 10 to 2 a.m. everything starts late nowadays. You know what I mean? Unfortunately.
I go home at midnight. My boys,
I'm trying to tell you.
My boys talking about it don't get started till midnight. I'm like, bro, I got church in the morning. What y'all don't understand about that?
You know, so once I get in there, I try to feel the vibe. I'll try to come in like 45 minutes early, try to fill it out.
Yeah.
But once you start, you got to start with a bang. You know what I mean? Start with a bang, throw in a little bit of everything. Some reggae, some hip hop, some R&B, but you have to really be able to read the crowd. And I think that's the art of it. You know what I mean? It's not just playing music. You are making song selections. You have to pick wisely. You know what I mean? Because I can go into any crowd and play some techno. But who's gonna vibe with that?
Exactly.
Depending on the crowd.
Exactly.
So
shout out to techno. We still fuck with you.
Yeah.
We still fuck with you. All right. I was gonna say I'm taking notes, man. I'm about to be a DJ soon. Yeah. Shout out to y'all. So we talk about having to pay the cost for the equipment. Let's talk about paying the cost, the clothing line.
Okay.
We see that a bunch of an array of hoodies, sweatshorts. I got my gear on. You see me. Stop playing with me, cuz. I know good. I know I look good. So talk about how that came about and what does the motto of pay the cost is. Like, what is that?
So my older brother started a clothing line by the name of Raw Barber. He's a barber. Great barber. Shout out to him. And one thing he said that stuck with me, he was like, why would I pay somebody else? Why would I pay Nike, Adidas, Polo, all these other brands when I could just make my own stuff?
Exactly.
Why can't I just wear my own stuff? You know what I mean? And when I tell you, like, this whole winter, because I like sweatsuits.
I love sweatsuits. I tell people that all the time.
Probably about 75% of the time I was wearing one of my sweatsuits.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I took that and ran with it. I found my own manufacturer. I used to model for this company called Self Envy.
Okay.
And I reached out to one of my boys, Zach, and he hooked me up with this manufacturer out in Pakistan.
Okay. International.
Yeah, for sure.
He said that conversion rate is probably crazy. $1 there is like $1 million for them. $1 million rupees.
Yeah. So the whole basis of my brand was you have to put something in to get something out. Pay the cost, whether that be time, money, energy, expenses, food, cooking. You have to put something in to get something out.
Definitely.
I think the ultimate sacrifice of anybody is time. Hence the hourglass shape. Yes, sir. So I think that's the basis of my company.
Okay.
Like DJing, like I put in a lot of time, as far as the clothing brand itself.
Yeah.
Putting in a lot of time, like trying to find a designer as far as like the logo and stuff like that.
Definitely.
Dealing with different manufacturers. And, you know, it's
The
just...
hourglass design, did you come up with that yourself, or?
I did. I like the hourglass design, and I think I tried to figure out a purpose for the brand rather than trying to make the clothes.
I'm glad you explained that, because again, as an outsider looking in, when I saw Pay the Cost, the first thing I thought of was faith, right? Mm-hmm. Most people, that's the Christian faith, you know, Jesus laid down his life, things like that. So I thought it was playing on that at first, where it's just more of a faith type of brand.
It's whatever you want to tie it to, genuinely. Okay. Like you said, I'm a man of faith, so yes, he paid the cost, the ultimate cost.
Definitely.
He gave his life.
Definitely.
So even the atheist can tie into my brand.
No, for sure.
It's whatever you want to make it.
Yeah, I like that the whole time aspect of it is for sure, because one thing I had to realize is, above everything else, time, man. You can't get that back. I can get more money. I can cut my finger. I get another finger sewn back on. Like,
I don't know about that.
I maybe. I don't know. It's technology, man. Technology. You never know in this world. Yeah. They can have surgeries to get you taller. They can definitely replace a finger. Goddamn. Come on now. Sure. I could pick out my baby's color. I want to be blue eyes and be called LeBron James by the time the baby born.
That's insane.
So, but time, man.
Yeah.
Time. Speak about, because across this conversation, you mentioned, because in your intro, I said a jack of all trades. You just said being a model. You just said, I'm a DJ. I have my own clothing line. I have this, I have that. You have so many things going on for yourself. Where does that hustle come from? Where does the hustle and bustle come from? Who put it inside of you? For myself, pause. For myself, my uncle instilled a work ethic into me at a very young age. So a lot of the things, literally anybody that knows me, I'm the hardest mother lover in the working, they know. Mm-hmm. And that comes from him. So where does the entrepreneurship for you to just go out and get it on your own comes from?
I think the entrepreneurship comes from me.
Okay.
Like I wanted to do this. So I think everything's a choice.
Okay.
Either you choose to sit on your ass, or you choose to go figure it out.
For real.
You know what I mean? As a man, I don't give anybody sympathy, unless you're a woman or a child.
Yeah, you sound like one of my best friends. He's like that.
Yeah, that's just what it is. Like, as a man, you really don't get no sympathy. Like, either you're gonna go get it or you're not.
Now it's time to pay these bills.
This episode is brought to you by DJ DMC. For any parties, kickbacks, and weddings, DJ DMC has your back. You can find him on Instagram at dmcthegOat. On Instagram at dmcthegOat. Please be prepared to pay the cost as seen on my shirt. He also makes his clothing line, great premier brand, and be sure to reach out to his Instagram as well at Pay the Cost LLC on Instagram. That is Pay the Cost LLC on Instagram. Get you some.
Now back to the podcast.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But as far as like my work ethic, definitely my pops, my dad. Like, that's one dude that really made me the man I am today. You know what I mean? Like right out of high school rather. He went straight into the military.
Okay.
Went straight into the military.
Appreciate your service, man.
Yeah, appreciate your service. Did his time. My mom was military too.
Okay, appreciate her service too.
Hey. Military child. Yeah, he really instilled in me like, you got to do it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna guide you. Yeah. But I'm gonna lay everything out for you. But at the end of the day, you got to figure it out. You know what I mean? So, I think high school is where that really took wind. Like, I was one of those kids that didn't drink, didn't smoke.
Same here.
Didn't do anything.
I still don't drink or smoke.
Didn't do anything in high school. Yeah. You know what I mean? All that came after.
You got to college and went wild.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. But those are things you got to learn on your own. You know what I mean? Like a lot of stuff, like you can take it and be like, damn, I don't want to do that. But some things you just got to learn on your own. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things I learned my own and learned the hard way.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, like I always come back to my dad and be like, I can get a hug and be like, I told you what it was.
No, like, for sure. You know? That generation is more of a tough love. And I admire it. I love it. I appreciate it now. Back then when I was in it and younger, I did not. For me, I say I ran from it, right?
You couldn't. You didn't know what you was walking into.
Exactly. And it's so funny because when my uncle left this earth, he passed away from cancer. When he left this earth, thank you, that's when I understood the lesson that he was trying to teach. Like, the whole tough love was to prepare me for this evil world that's out here, and to say, hey, look, by any means necessary, you got to go get it, just how you were saying just now.
Easy, though.
Exactly. And it's like, don't ever get it twisted. You a part of me, so I got you. But as a man, you got to go do what you got to go do. So that's one thing I'm working on too. As a 27-year-old man, I'm telling people, and I'm working on trying to be a man at all times, not when it's convenient for me.
Exactly.
So being a man at all times means having the tough conversation. That means going to do the things that you don't want to do when you have to do them. So not just when it's convenient for me.
Agreed.
When it's convenient for me, boy, man, life is good. Life is great. I don't have to worry about nothing. But when it's not convenient for me, I used to crumble. I used to run.
But at the same time, like, life does not wait for anybody.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, time is something you can't get back.
Exactly.
So if these things are something you pushing off, like, it may be too late one day. You may think you got all this time. But
boy,
like,
my coach used to tell me that all the time. Shout out to you, Coach Brother. He used to be like, time waits for nobody.
It don't.
Waits for nobody. And it's so funny because it's just like, I've been away from home for so long, and then when I go back, I'm like, dang, it's getting gentrified. There's a lot of white people down here on Liberty Street. It used to be the hood. It used to be tough and rough in the jungle, and now white people jogging and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, it ain't wait.
just people passing you by that really don't know you.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
And couldn't care less. Genuinely.
That's really talking about it.
You know what I mean? So, like, walking down the street and trying to find a job, the job market is crazy. It's not gonna hold you. Insane. Yeah. But like just trying to find anything to do with yourself is hard. So you have to put yourself out there.
Definitely.
Like I said, I'm not a people person. I don't like talking. I don't like being in front of cameras, stuff like that. But like, now that I'm a DJ, it pushed me outside of my comfort zone. You know what I mean? So like, now I got to talk to people. Now I got to network.
Definitely.
Now I got to put myself out there to gain more clients.
Definitely.
And stuff like that.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna come to you. You gotta go get the business.
So it's something new.
Did you always have the confidence in yourself in everything that you're doing? The modeling, the this, the that, the endeavors. You're a trainer. You're da 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 da. I would have ran you over in football. That's all I know.
I don't know about that.
So did you always have the confidence though? Because for me, I could tell you, as a man, I never had the confidence in myself until probably just this past year.
No.
Okay.
No, hardly no. Like I said, if you told me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I'd be doing this.
Yeah.
I would have looked at you like we stupid. Because it's like, okay, yeah, music is a part of my life. Yeah. I love music. I love different genres, stuff like that. But actually being in front of a crowd and being like, not necessarily the focal point, but like the person that really makes everything go.
Yeah.
Bro,
it's a lot of responsibility.
It's nerve-wracking.
A lot of responsibility.
Like, it's nerve-wracking, but like, I think there's only been one time where I've actually been nervous to actually do a set. I think that was Sounds and Spirits. Sounds and Spirits, yeah. Sounds and Spirits at Throw Social. They gave me a opportunity to do their halftime show.
Okay.
Basically, you know, when the band takes the break and they do the second half of they set or whatever, they gave me an opportunity a couple months ago. We do a show every month. I think the Christmas show. Yeah, the Christmas show. Either Christmas. Yeah, it was Christmas.
Yeah.
I was nervous as hell. I was shaking in my boots. I was trying to come up with this like great playlist, this great I'm just trying to feel the vibe out and come up with all these songs, put them in my prepared folder and stuff like that. When I tell you I shit the fucking bed.
Oh man.
It was like I was up there shaking. Nobody else knew this.
Yeah.
But like after I was done, because I probably did like I had probably like 15 songs in my prepared folder.
Yeah.
But when I went up there I was shaking. I said fuck the prepared folder and started just freestyling. And I had the whole crowd just doing line dances and just vibing with the music and stuff like that. So afterwards, being that I was shaking and really like nervous as hell, I went up to a couple of the artists. I was like, how was the
How was
music?
it? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They was like, you were good. What do you mean? Like, you didn't see the whole building doing the same dance for the past 5 minutes, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I'm just like, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was nervous as hell, but like, yeah, that's how it be.
Yeah.
Now it's time to pay these bills.
This episode is brought to you by 10 Toes Clothing Brand, the hottest streetwear from the DC area, based on the principle of community, perseverance, and integrity. From the community, for the community. Stand for something or you fall for anything. Shop online at 110toes.com. That is the number 1 TENTOES.com. And follow on Instagram at 110toes LLC. That is the number 1 TENTOES LLC. We are 10 Toes. Get you some.
Now back to the podcast.
I was going to say, after that, did they book you again or?
Yeah, I do the halftime show. We got another one coming up March 17th.
Okay.
Is our 10-year anniversary. Shout out to Joe Nate.
All right.
But yeah, I'm there every time they're there.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, it's always good. And has it been constant clientele or has it always been a constant chase or how has that been going?
I've been with Throw Social for about almost a year coming up. So like 6 months. 6 to 7 months, something like that.
Okay.
As far as Flavature is a black-owned spot I do in Woodley Park, Northwest DC, every Sunday.
Yeah.
I've been there for about 4 months, give or take, on and off. But like, as far as like parties and other clientele,
Yeah.
It's a chase. You know what I'm saying? You get those people that do email you and DM you and stuff like that, want to book you, but sometimes the price is too high. But in actual,
yesterday's price is not today's.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just went on by my prices because I did start a new business. So it was
talk to that a little bit. I want to dig into that. What? How did the business come along?
So I started a 360 booth, right?
Explain to the people what that is.
It's a 360 booth is a platform. You have this camera that circles around you. Sometimes it's manual, sometimes it's automatic. I have the automatic one where it's like a boomerang type feel, rather.
Okay.
You get a video, you get it sent to your phone. It's something that'll help you remember your event.
Definitely.
How I got to do that was a lot of the events that I've been to, or DJ'd at rather, don't have a 360 booth or a photo booth or something that encourages people to take pictures and, you know what I'm saying, remember the event.
Exactly. So
I was like, I can do this. Simple. You know, these same people that actually, you know what I'm saying, book me for their events and stuff like that, I can just be like, do you want a package deal? Yeah. So I'm selling a package deal right now, DJing and the 360 booth. But yeah, I just thought it would be a great opportunity. Like, I can make somebody else money. Like, yeah, this is my booth. Yeah, I'm DJing, but I need you to come along with me and work at this booth. I'll pay you such and such amount of money. Yeah, and work out the numbers on the back end. But that's what I'm saying. Either way, you're making a profit. You're making a profit, and you ain't got to do nothing but press a button. Simple as that. You know what I mean? How much was the investment into that? Into the photo booth? I think that looking at it, I was looking for probably 2 months. Okay. Just trying to find a deal. Facebook Market is your best friend. Yeah. Is your best friend. Shout out to Meta. I'm trying to tell you. Invest in stock. I paid like $800 for my whole. All right. But I paid probably like $1,000 for my whole setup, including the photo booth. Yeah. Nothing too crazy, stuff like that. But like brand new, one of my boys just bought one for like $4,000 brand new. Sheesh. Yeah, nah. You know what I mean? But like, gotta look for the deals. You gotta look for the deals. Gotta look for the deals. Circling back to, you were saying that your father and mother in military. How long have they been together for now? I am 24 years old. They've been together 24 years. 24 years. I was going to say, one thing that, obviously you speak about your father so highly. Outside of your father,
one thing that I've really been asking men and black men in general is who taught you how to be a man outside of your father?
I would say my coaches.
Okay.
Like I played football since I was 6, 7. So not only on the field and actually trying to be a man on the field because football is a man's sport.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. But yeah, definitely my coaches. Like because I spent a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
Coach Bryan, Coach Cox, Coach Smith. Shout out Coach Smith. But like these are people that I can call on and really sit down with.
Yeah.
Like there's been times where I go back to my to St. John's and just sit in the conference room and just go check up on somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want nothing. I'm not looking for nothing. I'm just trying to go see about my peoples. You know what I mean? But like being able to actually do that and sit there with a grown man, somebody that actually taught me a whole lot, and see that they still care. You know what I mean? That it teaches you a lot. You know what I'm saying? So football does teach you a lot, but as a man, the people that you allow to impact you,
Definitely.
you gotta allow that.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like I've seen a lot of people curse coaches out. That's not allowing somebody to impact your life.
Exactly.
I've seen people quit a team or shut people out. You know what I mean? Like you have to allow these people to really like teach you. And I'm glad that I allowed these people in my life, and they really impacted
There's a
me.
lot of connections in sports and just other things in life, even chess, right? Like there's a lot of connections and a lot of things that you could take away from these things. And I feel like with coaching, it's just like that hard coaching where they're screaming and yelling, like that's just, you have to learn to endure that. You have to learn how to understand the message, right?
Because it's not personal.
Exactly.
It's never personal.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to win.
Simple as that.
You know what I mean?
And if you don't, then get off my team.
That's what I'm
Period.
saying. If you're not winning, they lose a job. So of course it's not personal.
Yeah.
This is their job, but at the same time, they have to build connection with you so you can trust them to, you know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing about it too, it's not till you get to the junior and senior level, and most people coming in at freshman, they don't really understand it. But like my livelihood, this is how I feed my wife, my kids, and you think I'm gonna let you to go do X, Y, and Z to tarnish this school's name? Like we don't understand it at that young age. It's not till you get out of it that you like, oh nah, coach.
Exactly.
Coach had a lot on his plate. Because he has to go be a husband to his wife.
Yeah.
Then come here and mentor 60 kids who all want to be great and wonderful. And like, it's a lot. So you understand it. When you get to it, boy,
I'm
looking back.
Yeah.
With the motto of Conversations Over Chess being every loss is a lesson, speak to any lessons that you had to learn the hard way.
Nobody's here to save you. There was a time in my freshman year where I was doing some things that I should not have been doing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
are you willing to speak about those, or
it's up to you. I can speak about it.
It's up to you. Because this is about each one teach one. That's why I always ask those. So only if you're comfortable, we can.
Yeah, I was a freshman in college, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I was not one of those people that really. I didn't drink or smoke in high school at all. Yeah. So when I got to college, I you know what I'm saying, I did.
You let loose. It's all right.
You know what I'm saying? I did.
You let loose. It's okay.
But there was this time where during the season, I didn't play my freshman year, so I was drinking every weekend. I was doing this, doing that. And all of a sudden, one of my folks was like, "Yeah, why don't we just go smoke?" Yeah, that happened. We took the bus out to the soccer field. And we smoked under the stars. I thought that was amazing. It was great. And it was dope, whatever. But we got back, and a lot of people don't know this. Yeah. We got back, and pub safety was waiting on us. Dang. Pub safety was waiting on us at my dorm. Went in there, yada, yada, yada. They knocked on the door. We smelled, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And I was like, fuck. This might be the end. Yeah. They're going to talk to my coach, whatever. So I called my coach. I was like, yeah, I did this. Actually, I didn't even say anything. He called me the next morning. He was like, you hung up. What was that about? And I was like, yeah, I messed up. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, like it was better for him to know that I was coming to him. Yeah. Instead of him finding out. From me, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was stupid. I was a freshman. I was, you know what I'm saying, being grown when I really
Trying
wasn't
to be
grown.
grown.
Trying to be grown. But yeah, I thought that taught me a whole lot. Like nobody's coming to save you. Like this is you.
Yeah.
Like can't nobody make your decisions for you. Can't nobody save you from the decision that you did make. Either you're gonna own up to it and deal with the consequences,
Yeah.
or you gonna cower and be a bitch your whole life.
Yeah.
That, for lack of
Simple
a
as
better
that.
way to say it.
It's
You
no
know
in
what I mean?
between.
No in between, genuinely. So, you know what I'm saying? I made that call. I dealt with my consequences. And
What did they end up doing? What was the consequences ultimately?
He let me off easy.
Oh man.
He let me off easy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like genuinely, like I think that if I was to wait till
He was to find out,
yeah,
it would have been a
you
different
know what I mean?
consequence.
Like he sat me down. He was like, if I was to test you, would you come back positive? And I was like, I'm not gonna say yeah. I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
playing in between right now.
I
You want me
don't
to
know.
tell him myself,
Like,
Coach?
yeah,
What's wrong with you?
But
Coach was wearing a wire.
I'm telling you. But he looked out for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had a good career. You know what I'm saying? I got my degree.
Yeah.
Thank God. And
You finished up. You finished early, so you got your bachelor's.
yeah, I did
Okay.
I finished in 3.5 years.
Okay.
Um,
Shout out to you, black man. Stop playing with him. Put some
yeah,
respect on
you
his
know.
name.
Now it's time to pay these bills.
This episode is brought to you by Heart and Soul Training. They're the premier sports and basketball training in DMV while also offering training sessions in Delaware and New Jersey. Training athletes of all ages from young kids to even pro athletes. Some pro athletes by the name of Jordan Allen, aka JA to you all, who just hit 13 threes down in Mexico. Also, they trained Martez Robinson, the personnel at Delaware State University, down to a MEAC conference finals. Heart and Soul Training, what are you waiting for? Go check them out. Details in the description or on the screen. Peace.
Now back to the podcast.
but yeah, just genuinely like having those type of people around you.
Yeah.
Especially my coach. Shout out Coach Ferrante, because he definitely could have been real cutthroat to me.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I'm glad he wasn't. I learned my lesson, and it made me a better man. You know what I mean? Not being that type of person in high school. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff you have to learn by yourself, and that was one of the things I had to learn by myself. You know what I'm saying? Even in like the government world, because I do work for the government.
Okay.
I don't smoke, so because they do test you.
Yeah, I was gonna
You know
say,
what I
yeah.
mean? So there's a lot of stuff
Can't
that I
work
had
for
to
the
learn.
FBI. I
Early.
heard that. Is that true though? If
What?
they if you try to get into the FBI, even if you smoke once, you can't get in. Or is that a myth? Is that a true thing?
I'm not personally in the FBI.
Yeah,
but
he said, don't tell me I'm not a cop.
It's a
Because I hear that's the rumor, but I don't know
like,
if that's true though.
It's like 3 years.
It's
If
3
you
years.
smoke within 3 years, they're gonna turn you away.
Because
for
literally,
sure.
I'm like, yo, is that don't even sound right?
No, it's true.
Okay, so within 3 years.
Ever no, but
yeah, that's what I'm like. Ever that don't, bro.
It's
come
not
on
logical.
It doesn't even seem right. It doesn't fit the bill. What are you looking forward to?
As far as life,
Yeah,
or?
as far as everything between all of your ventures for yourself personally, what are you looking forward to? What's next, man?
What's
you
next?
got 1,000 jobs. You African? You Jamaican? You gotta be with a gazillion jobs.
I don't know. I think the biggest thing that I want to continue doing is just finding happiness.
Okay.
I think that's something that a lot of people, men in general, don't experience.
Yeah.
Of course, they have their spurts of happiness here or
for
there
sure.
from a woman or a job or a raise or just doing something in general.
Yeah.
Just finding happiness and sustaining it.
What does that look like for you, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
It's one of those things that, like, I guess I could sum it up.
Yeah.
I think that happiness for me is being financially stable.
Okay.
Of course, money doesn't make you happy.
It helps,
but
though.
it damn sure helps.
It's right up there with oxygen. That's what they say.
It does help, but being financially stable is number 2. Being having a good relationship with God is number 1 for sure.
All right.
and then building a family for my own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have family. All of my blood is not family. I don't think blood makes you family. I have some people that really played a big role in my life. Shout out Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe's one of my oldest male friends. That really stuck with me through thick and thin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can call him now if and he'll pull up. You know what I'm saying? If something was wrong, he'll pull up. He'll be here.
He said, "I'm ready to die."
Nah, for him, like me and him, like
How long have you guys known each other?
20 plus years.
It's so funny. Ironically, today is my best friend's birthday that I've been known since 2nd grade.
That's dope.
Yeah. So I understand that relationship where it's like this individual's not my blood, but we've been through it all.
You know what I mean?
Like he knows where the batteries.
You also have like those relatives, not family, relatives that you know what I'm saying. You've known your whole life, but the relationship between you two is just not what it is with your family.
Exactly.
Extended family. What I like to call it. You know what I mean? So, just finding happiness and sustaining it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last question we typically ask individuals is, if you play chess, we always ask, what's your favorite chess piece on the board and why? But if you don't play chess, we always ask individuals, if the entire world was watching and you had their undivided attention, what advice would you give them to save them any heartache and pain in life? Any advice in the world. You're just looking to the camera and just let them know. Any advice in the world. The entire world is watching. Kids, children, mom, dad. What advice would you give them to save them some heartache and pain in their journey?
Can I answer both of those?
Of course. Yeah.
All right. So I get like because I started learning in college, but I just got away from it.
Yeah.
I would be a pawn. My favorite piece.
Why? Because nobody says the pawn, and the pawn is a very strong piece.
Because sacrifice.
Okay.
A lot of people aren't willing to sacrifice.
They aren't willing to pay the cost. Didn't you?
Exactly. But like a lot of things as a man, you have to sacrifice, whether that be putting your pride to the side.
Yes.
Or not really.
Sorry about that.
Busy man. But putting your pride to the side, or just not letting your emotions or worldly things get ahead of you.
Definitely.
Or take over, rather. So you have to sacrifice for the bigger picture, whether that be in a relationship or any relationship, rather. Any relationship whether that be with your mom, your dad,
whether
your
it be
sister,
intimate
brother.
or not.
Exactly.
Just relationships
you know
in
what
general.
I mean? So I would say the pawn, because sacrifices.
You're the first person across the entire time that I've been doing the podcast that you said the pawn. I get a lot of knights because it's versatile, queens because she's the strongest piece, or the rook, but never the pawn, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people don't understand, like, pawns are very vital.
Yeah.
And you can make it to the other side of the board, bring something back to life.
That's what I'm saying.
So there you go.
But if I was to sit in front of the whole world,
and
give them one piece of advice, damn.
Yeah. I was thinking about this because at the end of the year, I'm going to do one for myself because I have the 5 at 5 and certain segments that I film. And I think I know what mine is. Mine is nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you not one thing. And I had to, that's a hard pill to swallow because I used to live my life full of entitlement. Like, oh, because we're family, because we're this, because you have this title in my life, you're supposed to. Nah, G.
Nah, hell no.
My mom gave birth to me. That's enough, G.
Yeah.
I owe her now. Like that's how my mom said. That's one thing I had to learn is just nobody owes you anything. So said that all of this to give you some more time to think.
I think if I was to say anything, it would be what are you waiting for?
Ooh, mic drop. I was like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But genuinely, like, what are you waiting for? Like, there's a lot of stuff that people want to do. Like I said with the DJing.
Yeah.
Like somebody, DJ Taz was like, "You ready to hop on?" I was like, "Nah." But then I was like, I could do this. So the next day, I went to go buy a DJ board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like the hardest step or the hardest part about any journey is just starting.
Yeah.
Genuinely. That's with anything. Like, it's not to keep going. It's not to have this longevity in anything. It's just starting.
Yeah.
So whether that be reading your Bible or praying every night or starting a business or learning how to cook. I know some people that don't know how to cook.
Listen,
crazy
I boil hot dogs, man. Y'all don't judge me.
Nigga, what?
Boil hot dogs, G.
Don't ever boil no hot dogs. I gotta invite you to one of my cookouts, bro. Cause we ain't boiling
literally, bro. So this is crazy to admit.
Like, that's crazy as much.
So listen, I used to. So I told you off camera that I've been to 40 out of the 50 states, lived in 10. When I moved to Minnesota, I know how to cook, but it's like I'll just follow directions. But it's never gonna come out like how my aunties or moms. I mean, it's not how the elders cook it.
Yeah.
So I was like working. So I was like, yo, I'll just boil a couple hot dogs every night. It got to the point where I was eating like whole packs in like 2-3 days type shit. Like I eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
You a glizzy gobbler,
bro. I lie to you not.
Crazy with it.
I lie to you not, bro.
Bro, that's crazy.
But all of that to say is that I eat hot dogs so much to the point where I don't eat them now because it's like it will get me literally physically sick to this. Like that's how much I eat them things, bro. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's probably why.
That's probably why. But yeah, man, my aunt be on my ass about cooking all the goddamn time. Yeah. I'm like, auntie, I'm gonna just find a woman that know how to cook. She's like, no, nigga, nah.
It don't. That
was one of the things my dad taught me.
Yeah,
like how to cook. So either cooking in the kitchen or throwing cookouts and stuff like that, I'm always doing something.
I feel you.
So, but yeah.
What are you waiting for? I like that.
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
I like that. Appreciate you guys for joining us for Conversations Over Chess. But before we go, shout out where they can find you. For the DJing, for the model, for this or that. Like, shout out everything for yourself.
On Instagram, DJ DM. Actually, that's not even my Instagram handle. My Instagram handle is DMC the GOAT. DMC
before we go. I'm sorry to interrupt. Where does y'all get these DJs' names? Who gave you yours? What does the DMC stand for?
DMC actually comes from Darryl McDaniels.
Okay.
He's a member of Run DMC.
Okay.
Has the same name. And when I started playing football, one of my coaches was like, oh, you got the same name as Run DMC, so you're DMC now.
Copy.
The only difference between me and him is there's no S at the end of my name.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I was dying to ask you that. I'm like, yo, because it's like a nickname in the hood. You got to earn that type of thing. So I'm like, yo, who gave you yours? How did you earn it? So DMC.
So,
right. So, apologies for interrupting. Where can they find you at?
Find me on Instagram at DMC the GOAT. That's DMCTHEGOAT. TikTok, I believe it's the same thing, DMC the GOAT. And yeah, if you have any inquiries, anything like that, dmcthedj@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you, sir, for joining.
Thank you for having me.
See you guys in the next episode of Conversations Over Chess. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Nothing ever comes to a sleeper to watch mom sweat them clothes to get them clean. Grew up in the slums, ain't shit that I ain't seen. And it's still free, all the guys till they free. Couple niggas crippin' and the others throwing bees. One thing for sure, they gon' all ride for me. Cause we ain't never phased, no gang family. Damn, what a blessing, all them low nights had me